Do you ever wonder whom you should hire? Well, Brian Buffini helps you find the right people for your team through the use of ability management systems. Don't know what those are? Well, you better watch then.
Real estate would be easy except for the clients. Would you guys agree with that? How many of you got into the business because you said, "Oh, I'm a people person"? And then you get to meet them. And it's the same thing. And the reason people are difficult is we're difficult. The reason relationships are difficult is because we're in them. It's hard enough to manage myself, let alone managing anybody else. Well, and we're going to go in a little different direction right now than because we've been going all nuts and bolts here this morning. But I'm going to tell you right now, the key component to being successful, not only in business, but also with teams, is A, the ability to be able to harness your strengths every day, your own strengths, and make sure that what you're doing with most of your day is leaning into what your strengths are. The next thing is as you build a team, knowing what their strengths are, and building your business around what their strengths are and the activities that they need to be doing. Does that make sense? One of the reasons we've been super successful in coaching people, and I've had brokers come to me for years. I've had this person, I've been trying to help them for 6, 7 years. And they've struggled. And you guys get a hold of them, their production goes through the sky. How is that possible? Well, it's tough to push a piece of spaghetti up a rope. You know, it's difficult to get people to do things against their natural nature. But when you have people lean into their natural strengths, no problem whatsoever. I would also tell you that the best thing in business is when you find the right people. So what might be the worst thing in business? The wrong people. And that comes at a price, an emotional price, a personal price. When you have the wrong people playing in the wrong spots, does that take a lot of time, yes or no? So you've all heard this phrase before. I've heard it at many REMAX meetings. You got to get the right people on the what? On the bus. And then once you have the right people on the bus, you got to have them in the right seats. It also means you got to get the wrong people what? Off the bus. Well, what if you could find the right people up front? Years ago, I came in contact with some information and a program that was developed by the Gallup organization. They put a bunch of PhDs together, built on the work from a man who wrote a book in the 1940s called Miller. What's his name? First name. It's gone. Arthur Miller. He wrote a book called The Truth About You, which was understanding that people are born with natural gifts and abilities. And when you get older, you either get better at those abilities or you don't use them. And that he developed this pattern to be able to analyze people through a series of interviews to find out what people's natural gifts were. And he came up with this science, and the PhDs for Gallup broke it down into 55 different attributes. A company later took those attributes and built it into a profiling process. So we use one tool to retain our people, increase productivity, and match our employees to their position. Okay, and it's called a heritage profile, if you want to fill it in. So what this thing does is that it actually provides tools to help people identify their natural strengths and abilities. Okay, somebody's natural strengths. Every human being in this room has natural strengths. The only time you notice it is someone else is struggling with something that comes really easy to you, and you go, I don't understand why that's difficult for them. How many of you have had that situation with a team? Like, how come you just don't do this? And what you're talking about is your gift. Now, skills can be taught and trained, but you need to match people up with skills with their gifts. So we find out what people's natural strengths and ability are so they can be supported and maximize the use of these strengths and be supported in the areas where they need help. This is how we work with people when we're coaching them. This is how we help people build out their teams. I'm going to show you how these tools are going to come to life for you. And we're going to bring to the market for you guys today information that we've never shared outside our own company. Okay? 45,000 of these profiles, the most successful agents. Folks, if I can show you, here's 15,000 people averaging $192,000 in income, there's a few things going right. We've got this great referral system, but we teach it to people. We've got to get people to do it. So we have, in essence, a team of 15,000 people who are doing 192 grand in commissions on average. Is that a pretty good team, yes or no? So it's a matter of how do we get that kind of result out of people? We're going to bring that information to you right now. So the main tool we use is a heritage profile. And This is what it looks like. We go through this. And I'm just explaining it to you because what I'm about to do is give you the information that it's taken us 11 years to cultivate. So we've gone through all of these folks who've been successful, why they've been successful, all that kind of stuff, and we know how they're wired up. So how would you like to get the analysis of all that information so that you know this person's going to be successful, this person's not? So we're going to show you your strengths and who's attracted to be someone in this position, and we're going to show you how to manage. Everyone in our company has one of these profiles. Every office in the company has a team of people that we know how to lean into people's strengths. They have their profile pages on display. This is the highlights. So if somebody's kind of more meticulous, when you're talking to that person, you're going to slow it down and be meticulous. When someone comes to talk to me, they'd speed up because I ain't waiting. You follow? And they know that. But I'm able to communicate with people the way they need to be communicated with, and they're able to communicate with me the way I need to be communicated with. Does that make sense? So we do it inside our company that way, but we also hire people based on this, but we also now coach and train people to be maximum and at their maximum peak of performance.
Remember to harness your strengths as a leader and then build your business around your team's strengths. If team members are in the right position, your business will thrive.